Hey, look at there. There's people there. Hello. I'm here. Grab a chair. I don't know if I'm going to leave that campfire on. Hello, everybody. It's a little hot out here. It's only like 90 degrees and Santa Ana winds. Welcome. And it's, I'm way late. I was going to do tarp craft. Here, let me show you something. I didn't see you watching. Bonjour. Hey, tarp craft. You know, that was what I was going to do today, but I'm going to show you what's going on here in a second. Let me unhook from this photo. Get my back hot from that fire. Hold on here. There we go. Here we are. The real world here. So here's what's going on. Santa Ana winds. It's a little calmer. Hey, it was fake fire. Sometimes I'll put on a fake screen like, just for a little ambiance. This is a bicycle camping out channel. So, this is this is where I used to work up on one of the glaciers up here. I'll just show you that real quick. And, I just try to give people sort of a background of, so, wow, hey, look at there. I hope this guy knows what he's doing flying this thing. This is where I used to work. So before I got on bicycles and started touring, that's where I worked, is up on those glaciers right there. Now, obviously, we're not in the airplane up there, but yeah, that's my old job site. And that's the Alaska Range, Mount McKinley around the corner there. Like a fake waterfall, yes. Hey, where are you from? Hey, E-Rider, weren't you here before? Is this your first time? I think you've been here, haven't you? Yeah, I'm there right now, believe it or not. But I'm real close to the border. Not sure. All right. Well, I do. I don't normally do these screens in the back. That's kind of a different thing. Tonight I was doing tarp craft. I'm on my way to South America again, where I live half of the year. And hey, like and subscribe if you think you want to come back. I have lots of stories. Check out the videos. Just released another one. A lot of stories, and most of it's mine, but some of it's related to places where I travel on the bike, like Medellin, Bogota, Colombia, the Sierras of California, Oregon, places like that. Right on. I have to look pretty close there. So we were going to do some tarp craft, but we have Santa Ana winds here right now. And what you're looking at now is calm. And I do have my tarp up. I'm hanging out here for a while, Airbnb for quite a while, probably 2 months, and recouping. I've been touring since actually early spring, up in the High Sierra and across all over the place, all the way Cascades even too. So that's normally what we're doing here. But what I was going to show, hey, real quick. We won't do full tarp craft right now, but what I will show you is something that you definitely should check out since it's not real windy. And hey, if you're not a camper or something, this might be kind of boring, but I'm going to do it real quick. But you can see I got this tarp here, right? Big bomb-proof thing, so I can work out here on the bike while I'm staying here at this Airbnb place. And so I need to be out here working, and it's been hot, really hot. So I have that up like that, and then when I cycle, I carry a tent, but I always have a couple of tarps. And what I've been using are these clips. You got to get these if you travel on a bike or backpack even. And these things are a lifesaver. Look at that. I can just take those off like that. This thing here, I can just kind of drop down, get some shade. And what I do is I just use 2 6x10s. I can weight that down so it's not blowing around. And I'm out all the time. Sometimes I don't even set up my tent. So that's kind of what I do with that program, is just, these clips right here, man, they're good for a million things. As a matter of fact, they're good for all sorts, I'll show you what I use them for. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I have, right now I'm sleeping in my tent. So I have it stashed like this. I like to have it like this, you know, and so I can fit it in between. And these little clamps are perfect. They're also great for keeping my door open instead of these stupid little hooks. So anyway, hey, all two of you, welcome. You just got to see what I do. You might have a better trick than that. But, you know, if you don't camp or do what I do, that might be kind of useless. But, hey, man, it's big deal to me here. Yeah, and check it out. If you think that's cool, I mean, I don't show tips that are stupid. I mean, if they're not helping me, I just don't show them. But do you guys use a tent? Anybody use a tent in there? All two of you? Somebody use a tent? Doesn't matter. I'll show you anyway. But if you sleep in a tent, hey, please like if you're here so I know you're watching. And check this out. So if you use a tent, I'm going to stay in here actually because people are going to show up and go, what the hell are you doing? So I use them also for this. You know, I hate these little loops trying to, you know, I'm in a hurry to get in and out. I got to get my shoes on. I got to get in and out of here. And so sometimes I'll use two of them, but I'll have my fly on as well. So I need that. So these little things here, look, they eliminate this whole, oh, I can't even get that. You got gloves on or something, you know, no way. Hey man, I've been climbing for years, biking. I would have just loved to have a couple of those when I was like climbing expeditions, you know, because you got your gloves on all the time and, you know, you just clip it, get in and out, you know, instead of dealing with that little loop. So that's kind of what I've been doing. So, you know, it's been windy. If you just got here, I couldn't really do tarp craft, but I was showing some tricks that I use. I'm in a tent or under a tarp probably about 80% of the year because I'm either traveling South America or here in the United States or somewhere else. And things like these little clips, they make my life so much easier, man. I just pull those off and you know, if you guys camp, you know this little loop is a pain in the you-know-what. Trying to get and then you got two of them to deal with the fly. So forget it. And the other thing, I'm staying a lot of places where there's not a lot of room sometimes. I'll just clip this thing like that, make it just like an envelope, man. It'll stay. That one didn't stay, but it will. Get it up above the loop like that. And then the other one on the other end. Then I can like toss this. I can just toss this over here in between somebody's bicycles and hopefully they don't put a hole in it, you know. Hey, welcome to Tectonic. That's my life. Glad you're watching. If you are, very cool. Thanks for liking. I'm trying to turn off this. So hanging out here, refining all my stuff and enjoying the time where I have like luxury accommodations before I head down to Mexico, Copper Canyon. But some people yesterday were here and they got to see those tricks. So I'm glad there's somebody new here to see that. I'll be showing it again. The winds are dying down. See, it's been very windy. I was supposed to be here 2 hours ago, but I was picking up stuff everywhere. It was blowing all around. And I couldn't get on here. So I released a video today too. So thanks for coming over. If you have any questions, bring them on. Bring you a little closer here. There you go. So yeah, doing some refining of the tent. Now, when people get here, you've already seen it. Hey, like and subscribe if you're new. If you like this kind of stuff, I'm doing some camping tips. I don't give any that are useless or probably most of them you don't know because I've been doing this for a long time. Now, but if you cycle, you probably know some of these tricks or climb or backpack maybe. But car camping, get the clips, man. They're really handy. Now, I put duct tape on them. I put some duct tape on just to, protect your tent because, they are kind of hard, rigid around the edges. So I definitely do that. I got my little Sea to Summit bag. I keep those in and Sea to Summit. Nice little dry. They're dry. They don't get wet inside. Dry bag material, waterproof, and nice zipper on those. Sea to Summit. I use a lot of my stuff is Sea to Summit. All my dry bags and all that kind of stuff. But they're not paying me for any of that. So, hey, eventually we'll go into the emergency cache, which is what I carry when I'm just going completely light for food and what I need to fuel my body. If I run out of restaurants and stores and places, because I eat out most of the time, and always have the emergency cache get me about 3 days. If I rationed it, I might be able. But if I'm biking, I'm going to be using a lot of energy. So anyway, that's what we're doing here at Tectonic. We're just rapping and rolling. That's all I really do here is rap and roll. As you know, if you've been here before, if you haven't been here before, hit the like right now so I know I'm talking to someone new, or say something. You don't have to like, but maybe ask a question, or you can just listen to me rap and roll and all that kind of stuff. So not doing any rolling right now. Hot today. Santa Ana winds. I was doing a little bit of tarp craft, which I'm going to go through again. Tarp craft, I call it that. Usually I have a bunch of tarps. I'm out on the grass or in the mountains, but it's windy here, and I'm actually in a place with, I'm in a luxury accommodations as far as I'm concerned, and really don't have the grass to put stakes in and stuff. So I was going to do what I do when I'm hanging out somewhere and need shade or privacy even, This thing's great for privacy. And and the great thing about it like this is I don't want this thing flapping around. I can weight it down with what I have. I've got bags. But the beauty of these clips here is I go, 3 of them. But, and I don't want to tie stuff, right? I don't want to deal with tying stuff and trying to figure out how to or bring any sort of heavy clips or, those things are saving me. I love them. I'll be using those probably for the rest of my rolling along, and after I'd take them car camping. The other thing is they're great for is check it out. Like for me, I love these things for a few reasons. You've already seen a few of them, haven't you? But say I got something wet hanging around, maybe a wet glove or something. I just clip that on. I can just clip that onto the tent or the bike. But yeah, hey, since I have all this stuff out, I'll keep it out tonight. People have been asking me what I use for my hands and feet. Now, as you see, I have these on Chacos. And I bicycle in Chacos nonstop. I haven't worn shoes bicycling in probably 15 years. I will wear shoes once in a while. Very rare that I wear shoes. Shoes bother my feet. So anyway, so you say, well, how do you deal with the rain and all that stuff? And I have, these are not wetsuit booties. Don't get those. These are neoprene socks. And I wear those underneath the Chaco. I can also have a pair of smart wool socks on underneath those. I got them kind of a little bit big, So I don't know if anybody is a cyclist or spends time outside here, but I'm just rapping on outdoor stuff. One nice hat, brand new, I never have used in 2 years. Usually I'm somewhere warm, but you never know. Mornings, but I do use this. I end up not using the hat. This balaclava because I'm going downhill in the morning a lot of times, right? So this thing's bomb-proof. Rock Bros, which, some of their stuff is pretty good. So I'm using that for my head in the morning when it's real cold. Going downhill keeps everything warm right here. And then I'm using 2 different kinds of gloves, especially if I'm going big time. If I'm going high Sierra or high mountain passes, I always have 2 pair. I just have my regular gloves that are good with the touch fingers for your phone and stuff. And then I have my waterproof gloves that go good with my neoprene socks. So I'm pretty bomb-proof. This all comes from my climbing and mountaineering in Alaska and Himalayas. I'm set. I know what I need to stay warm. So going to the bicycle for me was very easy. It was actually way easy. a little different. Some stuff was a little different, but I like to have a bag. I put my stuff in a lot of these bags you can see inside of, so I know what the heck is in there. You know, I don't carry. Well, I do carry, but I try not to, get stuff I can't see inside of. Although my dry bags are like that. I carry these things for my arms or arm covers, a couple pairs of those. Not doing laundry much when I'm like in South America or up in the big mountains where I'm not going to take showers and do laundry. I definitely take a couple extra things, but the way I describe things on my channel here is the way I travel. I'm not a bike packer. I kind of cross the zone of touring because I'm going for a long way for I'm gone for 6 months. So I'm taking a little more. You can do it bike packing, lighter and just buy things as you went, replace. But I just take a little more. I'm more of a old school in that manner. But the other thing is I'm stopping, doing some volcanoes. And, this is when I'm in South America or whatever. So I'm kind of set to like at least be dressed for, a trip. I don't have mountaineering boots and stuff, but I do take the stuff for my body, keep my body warm. I might have to rent a pair of, say I want to climb something, I might have to rent a pair of boots, done that before. And that's kind of rough, on your feet because boots are kind of a personal thing, but to be broken in for your own feet. Anyway, hey there, if you're new, I've been rapping away. I was doing a little bit of tarp craft. I'm not really in tarp zone with like dirt and stuff and grass, but what I do to work on the bike in the heat here is it's worked out perfectly the way I do it with 2 tarps. If you're listening to me and you carry tarps and you're like, man, they're heavy and bulky and weird, get the light ones, get the 6x10s like I have there, so they fit like walls together. You can fit them together and use them, roll them up with those clamps, and you pretty much end up with a little house that way, But I do use a tent, obviously. Somebody last night, asked me last night why tarps, not a tent. And I showed him the tent that I showed you a minute ago. But hey, welcome whoever just showed up there. We've been rapping. There's only 4 or 5 of us here, and we were going over some campcraft, and it's been windy. I'm in Southern California, and you probably know that. I don't know where you are. I don't know if you're still here. Is it Easy Rider? Are you what? Yeah. Okay. So anyway, Southern California, over near the border of Mexico, though, and kind of eastern side. So welcome. Got done with a few things, and we were just talking about, hey, if you have any questions, just roll questions at me. I'm here like in a luxury setting, like a residential backyard setting. It's pretty cool for me because I'm usually out where I'm all dirty and it's a little hard. This is great. I need laundry, and stuff, and I'll do this like as I'm traveling. I'll do this probably every. I'll just do it every so often. A lot of times I just do it for a few days, and in that case, in South America, like a village, or something like that. But in America, it's harder. Everything's more expensive, and everything is different. And so I have an easier time in other countries, depending on where I am. Usually South America, and here, getting a place to stay, renting a car. I just don't really do that with rent. I don't even drive anymore. After living in South America, Medellin, Colombia, for a year straight, I just quit driving. I didn't need to drive. I found, wow, I don't have to drive. Now, as I get older, maybe I will have to drive. As I got to go to that appointment or something. But I'm trying to structure my life where I don't have to do that and don't live that way. That's why I like South America, because I can do all. You wouldn't believe the people I meet in South America that are in their 80s and 90s from here, retired there, because they have better health care. Sorry if somebody's listening to me that works in that. It's just the truth. Better health care, cheaper, better food for them. They're healthier. They live longer, better fruit, no hormones and anything. No Monsanto, no Bill Gates doing anything in there. Sorry. Just the truth of the way it is. And so they're healthy people. Hey, you wouldn't believe the people in South America that don't wear glasses like I'm wearing right now. It's because they have mycelium in their soil. And we don't have any of that in our soil anymore, unless you live up and grow all your food up in the Cascades where there's lots of mycelium in the soil. But there is no mycelium. That's what grows mushrooms, and that's the life of the life of the soil. It's what grows everything, and that's supposed to be in your body. So I after living there and eating it and consuming it, I was like, wow, I've been unhealthy. I'm almost 60 years old, man. And in Alaska, I worked at 40, 50, 60 below as a carpenter. My back hurt all the time, and I was in horrible, horrible shape, drank like a fish, I was fat and unhappy and an asshole. And I just couldn't live that way anymore. Now, it wasn't like really all that bad of a guy, but I mean, that lifestyle made me less easier to be around and less healthy. So when I quit living that way, I was eating better food in South America. My body changed. And at 60, I feel better than I did back then in Alaska doing construction in the cold, eating garbage food. There's great food in Alaska in the summer. The veggies grow big, but only a certain amount and kind because of the 24-hour sunlight. They get big cabbages and stuff. But South America, just in general, after me living there for a month, and I was there straight for a year, my body changed. My color of my skin, just everything changed. And my brain, and I went through a lot of bad stuff too. So I had to go through that stuff as well. But that happens. I could have moved to, let's say, Timbuktu, something or whatever, Hawaii, or there's when you live somewhere for a year, you're gonna have the peaks and the valleys, unless you just have a perfect life. So anyhow, just chit chatting. We were talking about campcraft. You got any questions? Nobody's talking because I'm doing all the talking probably. Ask any questions you like if you want. And for a second here, hold on, I'll do that in a minute. But yeah, so I'll go into some more of those tips here shortly. When I do these lives, I end up doing like this rolling thing where I go through some of the tips and things I'm doing right now on the road. And I'm not on the road at the moment. You can see I'm Airbnb-ing it for a while, luxury accommodation. But yeah, I mean, this is where I can kind of refine everything, get ready for the next leg, and then get everything tuned in and dialed in. So that's what I'm doing here. And visit my kids. They live over on the coast, and hey guys, there's a tsunami warning. And my kids are over there. It could hit LA tomorrow, but they're saying, well, they don't know. That could hit LA. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of weird. It's not weird. Hey, the planet's tilting. I talk about that every episode almost. My father-in-law, who just died, ex-father-in-law, he was a geoscientist. And he used to talk about global warming before people did, but he would tell you the truth. He would tell you it was because we're tilting. We tilt every 12,000 years. And that's why we used to have glaciers all over up just right north of me constantly for years. And people freak out. I worked on glaciers. Look at my videos, everybody. If you've been here before, you've seen them. That's where I started. Matter of fact, hold on. We're gonna talk about global weirding for a minute. We're gonna go back here. We won't get politics, but I'll just tell you what I know from taking scientists up onto the glaciers and being with them 24/7. Making sure they don't fall in crevasses. That was my job. I took science there, and I got to be part of it, listen and learn, but not the science you hear from Al Gore or John Kerry or all the people that make money off the alarming thing. So anyway, that's it. Can't get into that too much on here. Please subscribe to my Rumble. No, I don't have that. But, I need something like that because I've been around that stuff. And that's hogwash what I hear on mainstream media trying to scare people. They should be ashamed of themselves. Anyway, those are the glaciers I learned on, lived on, worked on, camped on, and that was my life. So, hey, Eric, whoa. Oh, there he is. Hey, Eric, you know what you're doing up here? I love doing that. Anyhow, hey, everybody. We're up here at actually in this photo, we're only at about 13,000 feet. It's different up in Alaska. Those glaciers form at lower altitudes because you're up higher on the earth, which is higher latitude, and things get colder. So that's the way that works. People go, well, how come there's no glaciers here. It's like 9,000 feet. Well, it's because you're at a different latitude. And you get further down to where I live in South America, it starts to change a little bit. There's even glaciers up there. Yeah, there's ice all over the planet people don't know about, but they don't talk about it. Yeah, it's melting in some places and growing in others. So check out the Peters Glacier in Alaska. Hey everybody, hold on just a second. I gotta plug in the airplane. We're gonna run out of it. It's an electric airplane. All right, we're gonna have to get out of the airplane because people didn't like this last night. I mean, I never get any well, you did get a couple comments, but I don't think people they go, what in the heck is going on there? And they don't come on. So I think we'll just, before we go anywhere though, we'll show you a couple more. Hey, this is when I landed on the glacier with I know a lot of you haven't been here. I haven't seen anybody new. Hey, welcome if you just came. Talking about that glacier I worked on real quick. That's my background. Not a pilot. That's me. That's me over there. Let me get out of the way. That's me talking to the pilot, and we're trying to figure out she's trying to decide whether we fly out. She landed there to pick me and my group up. I'm a guide. Worked on that. I worked in the Alaska range as a guide for many, many years, if you're new here. This is her, Kelly Mahoney, picking me up on the glacier in a storm. I've got 4 clients standing where this picture is taking, and they don't really know that. I mean, they know it's bad weather, and she surprised us when she flew in. We didn't think, as a guide, I would have said no one's coming in today, which I did say. No one's flying in today. It's too cloudy, so let's get comfy, let's get comfortable, fire up the stove. And hey, Bartiomeo, fire up the stove. Welcome. Nice tunes on your channel. I appreciate it. So she's like, okay, let's go. Load up the plane and get in there now and take off. And we barely got out, you guys. Now look at the weather. That's me. I'm looking down at my fanny pack as I remember it needed to be zipped. I remember this whole scene where I'm asking her, should we fly out, as I'm looking down right there. And she's going, well, I'm looking down there and it sucks. And we're like, all right, because now we're in Alaska, the Alaska range, on the Ruth Glacier. Check it out. And so we get out, right? We barely get out of there. And I've been flying in and out of there from hundreds of times, with her quite a few times. So I'll read all the comments in a minute here. I'm just going to finish this story up. So, she died a few days later in that airplane. Look up the number. That's me. That's me looking down. I had sideburns back then. And talking to her, she crashed that airplane right into the side of the mountain behind me there, around the corner, in the Alaska range. Kelly Mahoney, look up the number on the airplane, then I'm telling the truth. Because these stories, all my stories are true. Plus I have family on here. They know, they'll give me a hard time if I BS this. So anyway, look at that on the snow. I'm cold down here. Anyway, better turn on the fire. That's me. That's Kelly Mahoney. Died. Bless her heart. Great pilot. Got me in and out of there. Got a million people, it feels like, in and out of there. All of us climbers. Just everybody loved her. Great pilot, obviously. She crashed because that's what happens. When you're a pilot in Alaska, you're seat of your pants constantly because the weather can change any second. It can be a beautiful, clear day, and the weather, boom, changes. So thanks for watching that. Yeah, so that's when we landed there. That airplane, look it up. That's me and her discussing the weather. She crashed that plane and died a couple days later. And I'm sad about it, but I'm glad that you can actually see this is a true story. And even though it's sad, you get to see kind of an epic thing going on right here. And freaking epic. I've got so many epics climbing, though. I haven't even gone into the climbing world yet. Wait till we go into climbing stuff. And then, so anyway, yeah, we'll get back in the plane. But yeah, my climbing years, that's me and my best friend up on a summit of a peak. And then that picture you guys just saw by the airplane, that's out on the Ruth Glacier. And that's another picture on a kind of a better weather day when this is my partner, Pat, my climbing partner, and we were climbing a lot of the big walls in that area. So, and they're a lot like Yosemite, but basically they call this place that sits behind me, it's called the Yosemite and Ice. Yosemite in the Ice Age, because it's still full of ice, but these granite walls just shoot right out of it. And I have more pictures coming later of that. So anyway, that's Alaska, a little bit of Alaska for you. Let's get off of the here, because I think people leave when they see that. I don't know why. It's pretty cool. I think a lot of people just want they're just peeking in. They want, some sort of action going on, and too bad I didn't have all this on video. And I'm kind of glad I don't. So here we go. Back at home, back in the real world. Woo! Where everything really, it matters. Not really. We're just drinking a little coffee and having a little fun here. Welcome, Bardio Mio, and thank you. Yeah, God bless Kelly. And let's see. Yeah, that's Bardio. And yeah, I'm enjoying the music, Bardio. Had a windy day out here. I was going to be on here earlier doing some of this tarp craft stuff, but I think everybody's seen that. If you haven't seen these clips, and heard me talk about them and what I do with them here at Camp Tectonic here at my Airbnb land, just hit the like button, then I'll know there's 4 there at least watching more, or just comment. But I appreciate it if you're just here and you just want to be quiet and watch and listen to me rap and roll. I'm getting horrible reviews on YouTube. So somebody I know is putting my stats in and what I'm saying and everything, and I'm saying all sorts of weird and wacky stuff, probably losing subscribers, but I'm kind of, I don't know, I hope I'm adjusting the algorithm to what, like I said, Bardio Mio, to what because I didn't come here to make money. I just thought I'd bring the cameras along with what I'm already doing, and I've been doing for a long time. As you can see in my videos, I've lived outside most of my life, and Alaska. I mean, I was 18. I'm 60 now. And every summer of my life, I've lived outside. Not like a homeless guy, which is fine being homeless. I mean, I'm kind of homeless now. But I just lived outside. So, and kind of homeless, I guess. That's the reality of it all, isn't it? Barrio, those tarps clips, yeah, aren't they cool? Thanks, Bart. Bardio, are you doing? I've been busy. Do you do lives? Any live stuff? Because if you do, I don't want to miss it. Because you're always here anyway. Hello, number 5 coming back. Somebody came back, or a new person came. We're just sitting here talking about my life, pretty much. Some of the videos and the stories are there. If you have questions about those, they're all real stories. And I have family on here, like I tell everybody. So I can't fudge anything. Now, whether or not I'm fudging somebody else's story, I don't know, because I'm reading about it. But it's everything I read is investigation stuff. So, it's probably not true either. Okay. Yeah, I just do them because I'm sitting around doing stuff anyway, Now, if I don't have anything to say, then I'll go, But I'm done with, some of the tips. If somebody hasn't been here, hey, if you just got here and you want to hear more of what I was talking about with the tent, the tarp, and the safety stuff, hit the like. Then I know somebody new is here, or make a comment, because there's only a handful here. So if you hit the like, I know you're here. If not, make a comment. Otherwise, just sit back and listen to me rap and roll, and I won't make any decisions on what to talk about. Sure, having a good time though. Depending on what time of day it is. It was hot and windy. Santa Ana winds here. I was going to do a bunch of great stuff out in the grass with the tarp, and not going to happen today. Apologize for that if that's what you were looking for. But we'll be doing some stuff and talking for a while until it gets dark. And but if you have any questions, what's that? Thank you very much. Well, yeah, Bardio, I appreciate it. You always do. Hey, number 7. That's a lucky number, number 7, just like Grizzly Adams and Mad Jack, number 7. That's a lucky number. You came at the right time. We're just sitting here talking. I was going over a little bit of, I'm camping out here like in a luxury accommodations as I travel. So just doing some ideas, some safety tips, some tarp tips, camping tips. But most everybody here has seen it already, and I'll probably go through it again later. And if you just want to listen to me rap and roll, I won't repeat that again. Sorry, everybody who's been listening. We'll let about 10 people show up before I say that. Go through the whole. So if you can't tell, if you can't tell, all the talking stuff for me, it comes from guiding. I was always talking to my people, and most of the time when you're guiding a trip, especially if it's people that are kind of intimidated being up in the mountains or on the glacier or whatever, they're not talking much until evening time, and they kind of, but if it's like a day trip out on the glacier with a helicopter and people are like captive, you got a captive audience, and so I had to talk to these people all the time, but I had plenty to talk about. I was teaching some natural history about the glacier, and also just like what we do to stay safe as climbers, and all that kind of stuff. So that was why. And there was, in a 4-hour span of time, there was always just enough stuff to talk about, and you can always fill it in as a mountain guide with, where you're from, what you did, and ask some questions. And now as a cyclist, I guide some trips on the bike, very few and far between, and they're usually people that were on my trips in Alaska. I'm not out advertising, I'm not like backroads, or somebody like that. I just have people that go, hey, I want you to do this, take me on this, let's combine some climbing, and that's what I do. And it's called the Game Changer, and we just named it that because you get in really good shape. So anyway, that's what we do, and then I'm working small. I'm a project carpenter in Alaska and other places too, South America and that's I'll work for 6, sometimes 4 months, sometimes just 2, but I'll work every day or 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, 10 hours a day, work, get the job done, take care of my body, my health, eat right, and then take off, and then, as I'm running out of money, then all of a sudden, hey, I've sold a couple of books, or, and then then the next thing's coming in. But I will say, when people ask me how I do that, I got to work real hard to put out the energy beforehand. I got to do the alchemy and put all the chemicals together, make the phone calls and, and send the photos, do that. And people go, hey, we want you to build this for us, Darin, blah, blah. And then I'll go and that's how I do it. I stay on the job. I get, generally I'm fed and housed and I don't have to leave. And I've done it all over Aruba, South America, Colombia, Alaska, Colorado, all this bunch of states. And that's what I do. But never for more than a few months or a couple months. That's too long because of all my Alaska stuff. I'm just burnt. I'm burnt on the cold weather construction. I don't think we'll be doing any more of that unless, for some reason it's some horrible thing happens and I have to do it. But no more of that, man. Done a lot of it. Really 30 years of Alaska construction, and a lot of it in the oil fields, unfortunately, and then some of it building resorts, big resorts in Denali National Park, big ones. And so that's what I did. Don't do that anymore. Pretty much doing this, and I don't drive. If you just got here, I don't drive. That's kind of it's not a new thing, but it's a subject that comes up. How do you not drive? Isn't that annoying? You want to go somewhere? After living in Colombia, I just got used to it. But, again, here in the States, it's harder. You got Uber and all that. But South America, I can get anywhere I want, cheap, safely, if I'm, now that I've been there long enough to know how to do it. But, that's how I roll in South America. A lot cheaper for me to live there. If you're getting my age, looking for a cheap place to live and good food and place to be healthy, find a good neighborhood, I can tell you where to go. And as a matter of fact, ask me, email me. And I've had people doing that. and I'm starting to help people find some other places, to check out. Not go move, go check it out first. Don't ever move until you go look. So, but I love Colombia very much. Every time I go back, I feel like I'm going home. Now, you'd think I'd be going all those years in Alaska. Like when I go to Alaska, it feels the same way. If I go in the summer, or winter. But I just know it's good for my body, and it isn't that climate. It's also just a different feel. The food doesn't grow as well. Everything's shipped through, and like I was saying earlier, you need that mycelium in the soil in your food you're growing. They don't have that in America anymore. It's all dug up and replanted, and you got all the stuff in it, and then you got Monsanto giving you no more of that here. I mean, they never did it there. But if you want to change your life and not eat that as much, go to South America. They don't do that in many places. Yeah. Thank you, Bardio. Yeah. I'm reading. Sorry, everybody. Thanks, Bardio. Yeah, that's it. So, I can be all confident sounding and I got it all figured out, but nobody does. I don't. But I do my best to just, I try to just do my best to feel like, okay, I got this next section figured out, and it always turns out different. That's what I was saying last night. Make the best laid plan and intentions, are always different when they turn up. So I just always keep that in mind. I know it's going to be a little different, especially when I'm traveling, So anyway, yeah, lots of good stuff. Good stuff going on, except for that wind today and the hot weather and kind of messing up my plans here with you guys. Probably lost some people today. Hey, if you guys haven't seen the video I dropped today or yesterday, it's stories. The last one's about me and my girlfriend she's my friend. Keep in mind, it's my girlfriend. And we did a few days together up near in Northern California near Chico. And I kind of forgot about this one because I've had so many. But we did a little bike trip up in the weed areas, man. And this guy shut us down on his road, and she pulled out her sat phone, and the guy opened the gate for us. Great video. I just gave you but there's other secret story in there I didn't tell you about. Check it out. I might have to go soon. Oh, there's 8 people now. I can't go. I don't want to strand you guys that have been sitting here, but it's going to get dark. Last night got dark on us. If you're new here, all you missed was, we didn't do a lot of tarp craft because of the winds. We had Santa Ana winds here today. So we just did a lot of rapping here. I just did a lot of talking about what I do, how I live. And if you haven't watched the videos and you're new and that person just left, it's all right. See, I can't count when they get up to 20. I love you all for being here, man. But yeah, a little bit shorter tonight. Just because of that wind and all the stuff I have to clean up and all that kind of stuff. There's still a big mess out in the back area there where you can't see. And it's going to get dark and I got to clean it up. But and then all this stuff behind me, it just stays out. It gets packed. You can see that big yellow bag is, hey, if you just got here, check it out. This is where I work and where I'll sleep tonight because we got a lot of people here for the surf camp that I'm not included in because I don't surf. Family does a surf camp, and we're here at this Airbnb for a while. It goes on for a couple months, and my parents are the organizers of that surf camp. So I'm hanging out here until I go south to the Copper Canyon. And but hey, these little clamps, I don't know. One more time, you guys have already seen it. The little plastic clamps, put some duct tape on them, get them at Harbor Freight, 50 cents. And then my tarps, I don't ever do this. I don't ever have to worry on anything I do with tarps, I just roll it up. I'm in love with these things. They're just so cool. And that's no lie, Just clamp them on there. I got all my space here. And that that makes my life so much easier. And if you're ever in trouble and somebody's coming at you, you just say, hey, I'm getting on my sat phone, my roam. Watch that video. That scared the guy. He opened the gate for us when we did that because there's no cell phone coverage up there. All right. Show you this one more trick. Bardio, you'll have to suffer through one more you've already seen. All right. So I feel like I'm doing little skits, you know. So if you weren't here earlier, I've been showing the little clips just like I did with that tarp. That's part of tarp craft, man. That right there is almost 75% of tarp craft. The rest of it's strings and, you know, anchors into the ground. But this next one is my favorite. I love showing this. Honestly, would I get this excited and fake it? Check it out. So, you know, I'm staying, you know, where I can't be all spread out. So I want my tent, you know, I got to slip this like in between stuff. So I have these little clamps for that, right? I love that. And they're great. You're at camp, right? You're camping out and it's all dirt you don't want to lose things. These are small. You can I just clip it on my bike, right? Unclip that side. Unclip that side. That's not it though. Don't leave. All right, we're going inside. Here we are. Yeah. All right. Welcome. So if you guys have a tent, anybody does any tent camping, say hello. You don't have to, but you know, one of my biggest, I don't know, it was annoying for years until I got these. I don't sell these. I'm not like doing a commercial, but I'm really glad. Now this year I use the heck out of them. I clip them all over, but this gig, check it out. Oh, okay. I got to open oh, brother, man. Jeez. And here's the deal. You got to put this little thing, you know, forget it, man. I don't do it anymore. I just go like this, and I clamp that there. Duct tape on the ends of that, because see, this is when you buy them, they're like this. You want to put duct tape on there. Lifesaver, sort of. I mean, because here's the thing, as a climber and a guide, you know, I got to get in and out of the tent quick, you know, and now that I'm cycling full time, it's like, it's windy. There's mosquitoes like freaking crazy, right? And you're trying to get that closed and open. And so now I just do that, you know, I go, all right, it's undone, tent closed, you know, done deal. Now, the other thing about these is, you know, like this tent I don't have, you know, this is kind of a cheapo, but not really, I guess. You know, you can clip them up here and like your socks and stuff like that. Now, this is a new tent, so I haven't set up the little bag. There's a little bag that goes up here, right? You know, I've had so many tents. Most tents, I never get that far before I ruin them. So, yeah, duct tape, definitely Bardio on those right there. And then, you know, you're clipping stuff everywhere. You know, it's one of my favorite things because I don't know, maybe people, if you're here and you just don't do this very much, that's probably pretty boring. But I'm telling you, man, just clipping it like that. No, if you have gloves on, what a pain in the, you know, man, forget that. So yeah, let's go out of the tent. A little hot out here, even with the net on. So anyway, that's a little bit of tent craft. That's part of tarp craft, really, because that's a big deal to me, is having that and being able to clip those on, you know. And the other thing is, like, you know, you get wet doing what I do. You're always wet, or no, you're not. You're wet a lot. I shouldn't say you're always wet, but these things are great, you know. Like what I really love is, like, say my hat. It's windy. It's gonna, even if it's not windy, I just clip it right there. You know, there you go. Socks, underwear. Who cares, right? You're out, but if you're out in the woods or whatever, anything goes. Those clips. But I think the best part is just the door. That whole door thing to me is it's just genius. And I'm not the genius. It was just in the universe. And I was like, hey, why don't I buy a couple of those? You know, it's in the Akashic records. I just figured, well, now the other thing is, you know, tonight, you know, there's a bunch of people coming back from surf camp. And so I want to be out of the way. I'm going to do that again so I can get that thing like put away. Just like a piece of paper, just throw it in here. Boom. And that's it. So that's how I'm rolling. Thanks for watching, everybody, if you're there. Windy out here. Need a haircut. Thanks for watching. That's fun. I love doing that. Yeah, I like my setup. Now, everybody's got their own. And if you guys do this, you know, I always want to learn what everybody else is doing too. It's not like I think I'm the pro. I just know. I do know something, though. And that's those clips. I mean, can you believe how excited I am about those clips? It freaks me out. So, the wind's coming up again. Right on, everybody. Well, that was a good evening out here with all 5 of you. Hey, I don't care who's there. It's actually easier with 5 people because, you know, if there's a bunch of people there asking questions, I get confused and I keep trying to read and stuff. But, you know, I think most of you that are here just want to hear me talk about what I'm doing, and I appreciate that. So, excuse me. So that's what we're doing here. Bardio mio, man. I sure appreciate you coming by once again. They are a game changer. I mean, think about it just for a second. The time you spend like trying to roll that up, and then the outside fly, you do the same thing with the fly, right? You have a tent, you do the little thing with that little thing, and then you put that through, and then you got to roll the fly up. With this one, do them both together. I didn't set the fly up because it's just too darn hot and windy, but I roll them up together and I use the clip. Same thing. As a matter of fact, that actually is better on that tent because it's net, and so that rolls in front of it a little bit. But those clips, as long as you put tape on them, you're good, and you're solid. So I've been using them, and I haven't ripped or put a hole in anything. And they're great for drying your socks. You know, I dry a lot. I'm always drying my socks or airing my socks out because I'll wash them every night. Those smart wools, I'll just go down to a creek, you know, and I'll wash them out and let them dry. I love smart wool. That's my socks. I think they're in the wash right now. But yeah, I'll do that and use those clips for hanging up anything. You can hang up the other thing. Well, there's a lot you can do. I'm not going to go into the clips anymore. You can get creative, but yeah. Right on, you guys. Thanks for joining. I'm going to wrap it up tonight, and got a lot going on, but I have fun doing this. I could sit here for about another 3 hours and just talk like I did last night. We were on there a long time last night. But if any of this stuff helped you, if you're new and you like the stuff, subscribe, like it, and come on back and just be ready for the next stuff. Now, what time we got here? 6:47. I was supposed to come on at 7:30, but the Santa Ana winds came and destroyed all of this. And now I got to go clean up around the corner. So I'm probably not going to be here. I hope I don't lose anybody, or I'm going to post that I'm having problems with the wind out here. Right now it's good though. And I appreciate you guys. Thanks for popping in. I have to turn it off with my fingers.